What's up, everybody? My name is Christian Marshall,
I'm Donovan McNeil.
and today we're going to give you 10 photography tips on how to improve your iPhone quality pictures.
So the first photographic technique that we'll be going over is aperture. It's similar to how your eyes contract and expand in dark rooms, or the irises of your eyes expand and contract in dark rooms or light rooms, and your pupils grow to make that adjustment. Aperture is the size of the opening of your lens that allows light to pass through the center of your camera's diaphragm.
Okay, the second tip I would advise you to use would be to utilize your shutter speed, and the shutter speed is basically how fast or how slow the camera lens opens up when taking a photo, so you can use it to emphasize movement in pictures when things are running forward or backwards. That's like a good time to use it.
The third technique is ISO, and ISO is how sensitive your camera is to light as it pertains to both film and digital sensors. A lower ISO value results in less sensitivity to light, while a higher ISO results in higher sensitivity to light. The ISO ranges usually can range from like 100 to all the way up to 1600, but usually they start with a base of 100, and as you move up the scale, they double in value. So like 100, 200, 400, therefore, and so forth.
Another tip you can use is to utilize your white balance. A white balance is basically a way to baseline all your colors. Like, it starts with white, and it just allows it to like base the white off the other colors in your photo, so it allows the other colors like your reds, your blues, your yellows to be enhanced more by knowing what the white color is and how to be based on it, where it has proper lighting and everything else like that.
The next technique after that is depth of field, and depth of field is it's an image between the closest and the farthest objects from the image, the object that appears most sharp. So cameras can only focus on one sharp object at a time. So the transition between this level of sharpness is gradual as the distance grows. An image with a narrow depth of field will appear more blurry, while an image with a larger depth of field will appear more clear.
Another tip you can use is to know when to utilize different frames per second rates. So like if you want to use have a certain photo where like you want to take a bunch of pictures at one time, like with a group of friends, use like a higher frames per second and like flick out the camera like rapid fire, blah, 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 blah. If you want to use like a slower rate per second and get like still photos, that's when you should use that. So if you know when to utilize, you can get better photos with like a regular phone or like a big fancy camera.
Yeah, and after that, we'll talk about aspect ratio. So aspect ratio is the proportional relationship between the images, like width and their length. So there's multiple types of aspect ratios. There's square format, which is usually the medium format for cameras, and it's most compatible with like social media sites, Facebook, Instagram. Then there's a 3 to 2 aspect ratio for like full frame DSLR. And there's a 4 to 3 for smartphones and cameras that shoot in a similar aspect ratio as that. And then
okay, the next tip I would advise y'all to use is to use an effect called bokeh, which is the effect of a softer out of focus background that you get when you shoot a subject using a fast lens.
Following that, you should look at exposure, one of the most important techniques. Exposure is the amount of light that reaches your camera's sensor, creating a visual data over a period of time. This period of time could be like a fraction of a second or even up to hours. And usually overexposed images appear bright or faded, while underexposed images appear either too dark or like hard to see.
And the last tip I advise you to use is learn how to utilize a focal lens. A focal lens is a measurement often in millimeters, and it determines when the lens is focused at infinity or a very far distance away. And it shows how much of the scene will be captured and how much is put in focus compared to what's blurry in the background. That's all the tips we have. Thank you guys for watching, and leave a like and subscribe.